Hello everybody, this is Mr. Loy, your friendly D&T teacher. Okay, as you can see from the PowerPoint slide, the first slide stays here, Contextual Use with ICT Tools. So we're going to learn some online information communication technology tools to edit your images, regardless of what images. We're going to learn some tips and tricks. These are the basics. Also, as you pick up the skills, we can actually progress to intermediate and even advanced. So for this training video segment, you're going to learn some basics of editing, all right, using ICT tools. First of all, if you have at home your mobile devices, your laptops or your desktops, you will need to have this Microsoft Office PowerPoint installed. Back in school, when you use the WRSS laptops, they would have already been pre-installed with Microsoft Office PowerPoint. Now, I need to highlight that there's a slight difference between using the Google Cloud suite of Microsoft Office software, such as Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, and so on. So this one is the hard disk installed version. All right. So this Microsoft has different features compared to those on the cloud. So without further delay, we're going to begin. So the first set of editing basics we're going to learn is copy and save images, copy and paste using of the hotkeys, and we need to actually use Google Image. You can use Bing, you can use Yahoo, as long as you are able to search online pictures or images. So I first got to give credit to this image of a blue cup is from InStock. So I'm going to move to Google, and of course what you do is you select Google and you go to Google Images and you type whatever object you like to find. So down here we have cups. Alright, so what you can see is over here. So when you click on an image, if it's not so high resolution or the size is not that big, the canvas size is not so big, the stream will be very fast. Sometimes with high resolution, you will see down here where my cursor is, the streaming bar. So it's trying to downstream and bring the image to its original resolution size. So it'll take a while for some high resolution images. So down here what you do is normally you right mouse click and you select copy image. So the image has been copied into the clipboard. Alright, it's a random access memory area. You switch back to PowerPoint slide, you right click and then you choose use destination theme. If you don't like to use destination theme, you can actually select keep source. So this will keep the original attributes of what you've taken from where the source is, which is Google Image. Alright, as a picture, it just save as a standard picture. So normally I just go with use destination theme, which is the one based on the PowerPoint slide settings. So of course not much of a difference as of now. You notice that I resized the cup using one of the 4 corner handles because the aspect ratio is maintained. If you select the one on top and or the one below, you kind of like make it fatter or even thinner, even from the left and the right. Okay, so the aspect ratio has been changed. Now, since I already copy image in the clipboard, what I do here is on this slide, I just click anywhere on the white canvas here and then I do a Control V. Alright, Control V will paste it. And of course, I just want to show you the difference between Control C and Control X here. Control X is basically to cut. Alright, so for example, you want to remove this image from this slide, so you Control X and then you move on to another slide. Which is this slide now, slide 3, and then you Control V is pasted back here. Alright, that is if you do not want the image to appear on your previous set of slides. Okay, so this is a simple copy, save image, copy and paste. So let's move on to cropping of images and later on grouping and ungrouping of objects. So notice that I do not actually use images and objects loosely. Objects here can refer to other than images. It can be text-based, it can be other types of entities. Okay, so mainly text and images for now. So let's move on to this one here. So how do I actually crop an image, right? So over here, you may want to, for example, you have to make sure you select the image for you to crop. Let's say I need to crop half and keep the left half of this blue cup with the handle. So you move up to the menu bar there, it says Picture Tools Format. Click on the Format, and on the top right hand side you will see crop. So what you do is you just click on crop, and you see this special corner handles are out. So move your mouse over to this black bar on the right, and then deciding where you want to cut away the image. Alright, so it shows that this left half will be kept, and you just click crop, and that's it. Alright, you have this part of the image left. Alright, of course you make a mistake, Control Z is the undo. Alright, the multiple undo steps, you can hit Control Z a second time to get back your original step. Okay, so I'm still in the crop so-called function. That's why you can see that there's something moving around. Okay, so if I were to do this, I think it's gonna give you the same effect. Okay, but what it does is it keeps a lot of the white canvas over this side. What do I mean by white canvas? Alright, so later on I will show you that actually it's not transparent or clear. So let's do a little bit of grouping and ungrouping. Okay, so for example, let me just call out another cup. For example, this cup here. So I do the right mouse click, copy, and then I come over here and I paste it. So now I have two images. So earlier on I mentioned about the white canvas, right? You can see that the whole cup actually covers the text which is behind. So what I actually want to show you here is actually to group. So for example, I like to group these two images. At the moment they are separate individual images. So you have to select one image, and then you hold on the shift key on your keyboard, and then you left click. So now you have selected two images. Another quick way is you left click anywhere at the corner of the areas or images or objects that you want to select, and then you just drag across. Okay, sometimes you're successful, sometimes you're not. Okay, it depends on whether you can capture both. So in this case I was able to select both images, so you can try either way. And what you do is you right click inside the selected area. You can see down here it says group. Alright, you can't regroup and ungroup at the moment because they are both in the individual separate images. So you just have to click group, and what you do is now you have actually grouped both together, and you can actually resize both images. Alright, so this grouping and ungrouping will be useful. So for example, after I've resized it, I want to ungroup. So you go back to right click and you choose group, and now you can only ungroup. Okay, because there are only two images, so you click elsewhere, and then now you can move the images away as separate images. For regrouping, you will need more than two objects that are selected or previously grouped together. So so that's the bit here. Alright, we need to explore about this part here where the white canvas is totally like cover the blue cup which is behind, right? So what can we do? So we're going to move to removal of background in a while. But one step before that, because we are talking about images that you call out, right? The blue cup was pasted onto this slide canvas earlier on. The black cup was the most recent images that I copied from. So naturally the latest object, okay, it can be text-based, it can be images like this black cup here, will be the one that is at the top layer. Alright, so we're talking about layering now. You can see that the black cup covers the blue cup. So on this slide here, we're going to learn what is bring to front, bring forward. What does it mean? Are they the same? Send to back and send backward. Okay. Now, as you can see, I've done a little bit of grouping. Alright, I insert the text here and I type with white canvas, which is this part here, which is not clear. Alright. So the reason why my orange cup can conveniently go over the blue cup is because I've recently, or most recently, copied the orange cup after I've copied and pasted the blue cup, which is at the layer below the orange cup. So to show that the canvas is still there, what I do is I right click on my selected orange cup, I send to back. Now you can see that my orange cup is behind. Alright, now what's the difference sending to back and send backward here? What it means is for two images you can either send to back or bring to front, okay, because there are only two images. Now if you have multiple layers of objects, text-based images, you may have to send backward or bring forward one layer at a time. Okay, so if I were to right click here now and I choose this one, bring forward, is only one layer forward because there are only two images. Alright, so in this case, when you're working with two images, bring forward and bring to front mean the same thing. Alright, but if you have multiple layers, you may want to do bring forward or send backward, layering by layering to see exactly where you want to fit your selected object. So this is the simple explanation. Just to show you that I've actually two objects here, the image and the text grouped together already. So what I need to do is I just select the image and then I select group and I ungroup. Now you can actually move the text out of the blue cup. Okay, let's move on to the interesting part, which is introducing the remove background tool. So using the same cup again, what you do is I need to move my image over to the right hand side now. So select your image and then you click format. Yeah, okay, so when you click format, you have this whole lot of choices. On the far left side, okay, based on your screen, is far left side, should be this way. Alright, your left side there. Remove background. Okay, so what you do is you click on it once and basically you should see your selected object or image here. In this case, there are some purple background and some original colored of that image. Okay, so what the purple here means is it's going to disappear. Alright, for example, I'm going to show you now. If you just click on the keep changes at the top bar menu, whatever you can see not purple will be kept. Of course, this is not what you want, right? You want just to remove the white canvas background. So I undo and I remove background again. So what you do is you need to keep areas and you need to mark the areas that you want to keep, or you can mark areas that you want to remove. So it's either or. So let's choose the plus sign first, which is mark areas to keep, which is at the top left hand option. Now when you click, you'll see a pen tool, right? So what you do is for small points, you can just click and let go, click and let go. But for areas like this, for example, you can see the back part of the cup, the body part of the cup I wanted to keep. You can actually click and drag. So for example, this handle here, I'm going to follow the profile as far as possible, alright, for the artificial intelligence of this software to be able to tell the difference and then try to keep. Now sometimes when you mark areas to keep, right, some parts of your images may disappear. So be patient, you have to check everything, and at the bottom right corner, almost where your language and your time is stated, there is this zoom in and zoom out. So you can actually zoom in the image so that you can actually precisely select the areas that you want to keep or you want to remove, right? Like this. For example, here I can't really see whether I can hit the area that I want to keep. So what I do is I zoom in further and I selected the area to keep. Alright, there you go. Now of course, if you have a large object, you may want to zoom out, and for this part here I will need to keep everything. So let's try drawing that across. It doesn't really work, so you got to try a few lines, alright, for the AI to work. The ring part of the cup you want to keep as well. So as far as possible, try to keep within the areas that you want to keep. So as I mentioned, you selected areas to keep, but some areas has automatically become removed, right? So you have to be hardworking, alright? So you continue to select and play around with the areas that you want to keep or remove, okay? So down here, I don't have an example to show you mark areas to remove. So like for example, the empty space between the handle and the body of the cup, you may want to remove that if it's not removed. So then you click on the minus sign, mark areas to remove, and you just draw a short line within that space that you want to remove. Now inspect your object. The areas that you want to keep are there already, right? So basically I remove the surrounding white canvas, including the space between the handle and the vertical body of the cup. So when you're satisfied, you just choose click keep changes, and there's no difference between what happened just now and the one that you copy and pasted, right? So the only difference now is you can see for yourself, alright, that this white space here is actually transparent. It's no longer white, opaque white, okay? So whether you send to the back, send to the front, you know, try to group objects, basically is as crystal clear as it is now. just like the previous example, I've actually removed the background of this orange cup as well. Okay, now let's go something more interesting. It's still on remove background, and we're going to challenge ourselves to remove the sky of this very nice resort home. And of course we're going to add a little bit of green screen and explain how it's done. So first of all, you choose the object, okay, left click. Okay, let me just zoom out so you can see that I've selected it. And of course do the same thing, choose format, and on the far left side remove background. So what we are going to do now is that we are going to keep the building, alright, this whole stretch here, for example, and nothing much done, so you have to be patient. Alright, and you're just going to continue to persevere and make sure you've selected the areas that you want to keep. Now you see this bench part here, alright, you have to draw a line so that you will keep the space between there. Now this is actually a swimming pool, so I'm going to try my best to keep as much as I can. So as I kept that water in the pool, right, you can see that this plant here has become like to be removed, so you have to select it back again, and you see this part here, alright, inside the house, the living area, and this immediate floor near the bench, you just select the area, okay, and this cactus here, this plant I want to keep, and you got to continue, alright, and persevere. Okay, so I'm recording the training video, so I think it takes a short while for this remove background, you know, to continue. Now this is the interesting part I want to show you here. Okay, this is the part of the sky which I don't want, and down here as well. So what I do is I will choose now the minus sign, mark areas to remove, and you can actually zoom in so that you do not accidentally select areas that you want to remove, but I've done it successfully. And down here as well, it should turn purple, and do a quick look, zoom in just to double check no areas that you want to keep was not kept. Okay, so basically the sky I want to remove. So now I keep changes, and this whole white space you see is actually clear, it's see-through, there's no opaque white canvas there anymore. Now I just want to show you that you can actually add interesting things like such as shapes here. I want to add a green screen, so what I do is I select insert shape, and let me just drag all the way down. Of course by default is this color, so my shape field probably I will select green, and because this object that you inserted, or this shape, rectangular shape that you inserted was the latest, right, is on top of this house, image of the house. So what I do is I will send backward, for example, or you can send to back immediately. Alright, and because this part here originally, right, the sky was clear already, so this area here, this green area, can you see is lower than this part here? Alright, actually my original green rectangle is right up to this level here, right, where my cursor is showing now. So it actually includes this area as well. Okay, if you did not, you will see a little bit weird. Alright, how come there's green and then there's white there, right? So you got to be careful here. This is a tip or trick that you need to be aware of. And of course we're not going to go to intermediate or even advanced stage for this training video. You can actually add animated GIF and stuff like that behind the green screen effect. You know, I'm sure you heard about image editing and stuff like that. They can actually create things and put behind. So just going to leave it as it is here. Alright, now for now, okay, this is the basics. So let's do a quick run through what you've learned today. Some basic tips and tricks. You learn about copy and pasting images from Google Images, for example, the hotkeys Ctrl+C, Ctrl+X, and Ctrl+V. You also learn how to crop images using the format, picture tools format, and then cropping tool. And you also learn how to group and ungroup objects. Objects here include text that you actually inserted, such as this one here. You also learn how to check the different layers of the object that you actually pull in, copy and pasted, so you can actually send backward or send to back, or bring forward and bring to front. Okay, you also learn how to use the remove background tool, which is very powerful, alright, in our contextual use for our presentation board. And I just show you a little bit trick about removing the sky background and stuff like that. Most of the time you'll be copying and pasting environments, okay, for example landscapes, you know, like a classroom and things like that. So it's not just individual product items such as a cup, okay. So of course you're gonna intermingle with both, all right. You're gonna put a cup onto a study room, you know, that picture is actually taken elsewhere, that kind of thing. So I will see you in the intermediate training video. All right, so bye for now.